When I bump into something that inspires me, I dump it in my spark file. To be something that I wanna make or how I wanna be. I pump it in my spark file. I jump into my spark file. Let's open up the spark file.
What? Welcome to day 3 of the Sparkfile Find Your Light Creativity Challenge, a 3-day challenge designed to help you find your creative spark, fan your flames, and shine your glorious light.
This free daily serving of creative inspiration is intended to get you attuned with the creative sparks all around you and within you, and then get you making and sharing your creativity. Before we get down to creating, you're going to want to make sure you have something to write with and something to write on.
Friends, if you're watching this live, let's just jump right in with a spark round. Full disclosure, I feel like my chat isn't working because I've tried to post 2 times and it's not come through. So we're going to see how this goes.
Interesting. Okay.
TBD.
Okay.
But let's try name, pronouns if you wish, and tell us one piece of creativity that has impacted you. Maybe it made you laugh. Maybe it made you cry. Maybe it moved you. Cams, you go first.
I'm Laura Camion. That's not the part I had to think about. I'm Laura Camion, she, her, currently broadcasting from the lands of the Satsuyaha people. And, I just can't, this is my answer. Final answer for me is fresh in my mind is that I went back and saw Hadestown again on Broadway. And it was like Reeve Carney's final performance, which I didn't realize when I booked, but then it was like, oh, this is amazing.
Wow.
But really, really, really powerful still to this moment. Very powerful. How about you, Suze?
Fantastic. I'm Susan Blackwell, she, her, coming to you from the lands of the Mohican people. And a piece of creativity that impacted me was this afternoon. We have an Illume mastermind course, and people are in the midst of doing their creativity shares. And the shares were so strong today.
Yeah.
They were really beautiful.
They were.
The feedback process around it was really, really great, and I was very impacted by that.
Same.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really, really was as well. While we're waiting for responses in the chat, friends, if you're just wandering by and you happen upon this live video on Facebook or YouTube, you want to join us, quick, get on in here. Go to Find Your Light Creativity Challenge.thesparkfile.com and register so that we can spark boom your creativity. Plus, you'll be eligible for a super sparkish prize. And if any of you have not yet watched the day 1 and day 2 recordings, never fear, you're right on time and you're still eligible to win. You can always go back and click on the links in the body of the very same post upon which you're watching this video.
Now, are you seeing anything in your chat?
I am. Are you not?
Nothing.
I'll share a few things with you.
Okay, great.
Okay. First of all, Scotty Barnhart, the audiobook of Tom Lake. Anyone else? We just had this exchange, Scott and I, because I just read Tom Lake a couple months ago. And yes, and now I need to read the audiobook. I'm so into that.
Now, Laura, if you click right in the center of their comment, it will throw it into the lower third.
Oh, well, hey, look at that. Friends,
there you go.
Learning.
And if you want to remove it, you just click on it again. Scott, so happy you're here.
Scott, we like to learn things in real time amongst friends. This is how we do it. Rachel, a therapeutic arts workshop that I attended. I'd like to know more about that.
Rachel is a learner.
I'm interested in that. I'm totally interested in that. Eric, hi, let's show you. There's a still life in the Norton Simon Museum by Zurbaran that I really like. Eric, you seem like you partake in some art and some creativity.
Yeah,
I'm interested.
I like that.
I'm intrigued. Oh, Cecilia, what are we putting in the chat? Hi and welcome. We're putting in the chat a piece of art, any type of creativity that really moved us,
Something that
any of any
impacted us.
variety, something impacted us. Positive Juju, hi. Hi, friend.
Maggie.
Raising Bubbles finally made it into one of my designs. Rising Bubbles. Friends, I
Rising
also need new
bubbles.
glasses. Things I'm learning in this moment are pretty, it's a lot. I better make a list of things I am learning in this
You're
moment,
doing great.
including I need new glasses, friends. We are so happy that you're all here. Truly, truly
That
happy.
this is fun. I'm going blind today. Here we go. We both are, Laura. Those pieces of creativity that you just thought about or shared in the chat, all of them have one thing in common. No matter what response they elicited in each of you, someone had to not only make the thing, but they had to share the thing as well. Before you
That's
could be
right.
moved by it, it had to exist and then it had to be shared. Robert Frost said, "A poem begins with a lump in the throat."
Mm,
That is a beautiful sentiment. And the lump in the throat is a beautiful way to identify a great spark. But if you don't make the poem, and further, if you don't share the poem, then you will never take the chance of creating a lump in someone else's throat.
mm,
Now, this may seem obvious. Maybe it seems simple, but because something is simple doesn't necessarily mean that it's easy, right? Sometimes sharing the light of our creativity can be one of the most challenging parts of the creative process. We hear this from so many people we work with, but it can also be one of the most creative moments in the spark cycle.
Spark cycle, you say? Let's recap a tiny bit. Over the past few days, we have been exploring the concept of finding your light, and we've used the framework of the Spark cycle of creativity to organize our progress. Remember this, old friend? On day one, we generated a bunch of sparks and identified the sparks we love that love us back. Again, as Karen said on day one, it's something that gives you a feeling of gain, not drain. Then on day two, we started fanning the flames and moving toward making things. Today, we're going to move into shining the light, AKA sharing our work with others.
Now, this is the Spark File Find Your Light Creativity Challenge, which beats, yes, again, there's a big old prize on the table for the winner of the challenge. One creative challenger is going to win a spot at the Spark File 2024 New Year Creativity Kickoff. This 2-day workshop takes place on January 6th and 7th on Zoom, and it's designed to elevate and celebrate your creative abilities to get you focused on your creative vision for 2024 and to move towards making that vision a reality. No matter what you have been dreaming of making, the 2024 New Year Creativity Kickoff, it's an annual tradition that's going to get you fanning your creative flames and moving towards that creative goal. And our winner is also going to receive a really delicious Spark File goodie bag full of piping hot swag. Get your piping hot swag here. And this workshop and goodie bag, I've gone around the bend, Laura. I feel like I've gone around the bend. The workshop and the goodie bag combined is valued at over $500, but even more important, it is a wonderful creative reset for people. But don't take our word for it. Let's hear from people who have attended the Creativity Kickoff before.
Melissa Machito, who is currently in our 6-month Blaze course and who, during her time in the Spark File, has launched a multi city, multi play tour of her theater company's work and published a script, among many other accomplishments. Melissa said just yesterday in the chat that the Creativity Kickoff is hands down the best way to start the new year. There's Melissa right there and her team and her theater company, the Anthropologists. And Tim Bazzi, a Sparkfile alum who has completed his first novel and is now on his second novel, Tim said this: "The kickoff tipped me over the edge to an unbelievably creative year. Please do not miss out. If you don't win, be sure to sign up anyway. Game changer. That's Tim right there in the center at our annual SparkFest retreat up in Ottawa, Canada.
Oh,
Oh,
thank you. Thank you for those kind words, Tim and Melissa. If you're ready to enter into 2024 with your creativity clear, focused, and flowing, you can click on the link that Laura's going to pop into the chat and sign up for the kickoff with an exclusive offer of $100 off if you use the code Find Your Light. And you're going to want to grab that discount before Sunday, December 3rd at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. And if you happen to sign up for the Creativity Kickoff and then you win the Find Your Light Challenge, your registration fee will, of course, be refunded.
refunded, you say. Refunded. Friends, I trust that we're all back with our pens, our notebooks, and here we go. For today's focusing ritual, we want to share with you one of the rituals that we use to begin our group creativity classes. In each of our classes, we begin by inviting one group member to read the course guidelines, a poem. This poem sums up the ethos of the Spark File and our collective commitment to our creativity. And here are a few members of our community sharing those guidelines.
Spark File Course Guidelines.
Hey, you.
The real, authentic, open you.
Welcome to the present moment.
In this space where you are safe to be brave.
With the knowledge that all of us have your back.
While you are here, please take responsibility for the energy you bring into this space.
Grant grace and assume the best of yourself and others.
Preface creative possibilities with,
May I offer you a thought?
And receive consent before proceeding. Know that.
Lessons learned here can leave here, while personal stories shared here stay here.
Creative risk lies ahead.
Side effects may vary and can include responses in your body,
heart,
mind, or behaviors.
Trust in the knowledge that you are a strong, creative conduit.
And it's all tolerable.
Plus, you are empowered to do what you need to do to take care of yourself.
During your time here,
may your conversational turn-taking be balanced.
And may you rest easy in the knowledge that no one is above you,
no one is below you,
and haters have a special place to the left.
Gentle sparkler.
Let these truths resonate through your body electric.
As long as you're present when you are present.
Do the work. And aren't being a dick.
And aren't being a dick.
And aren't being a dick.
However you're doing it right.
I love those faces. I love those people. We're going to send all of you a copy of the course guidelines in your email tonight if you've registered. And it includes a gorgeous illustration by the fantastic artist and SparkFile community member, Jill Dreyer. So today we're going to talk all about shining the light of your creativity, also known as sharing your creativity with the world. When we talk about sharing our creativity or sharing our creative work, oftentimes people think of the most fully realized version, your play opening on Broadway and you taking a bow, your arms filled with a bouquet of flowers wrapped in cellophane, the audience on their feet cheering, or you at the podium reading at your book launch and the standing room only tour that will support the release of that book. So let's play around with this for a moment. We want you to turn to a fresh sheet of paper and date the top of the page. Now, whatever you identified in yesterday's Boom Spark exercise as the thing you're going to make, write that thing in the top margin of this page. So if your thing was a crochet pattern based on a beloved vintage hat that your grandma wore, write that in the top margin of the page. If it was a one-person show about your experience as a caregiver, write that in the top margin of your page. Whatever you identified in yesterday's challenge as the thing you want to create, write that in the top margin of your page. Okay, now shut your eyes and let your imagination loose. Ask yourself, what would the fullest expression of sharing this piece of creativity look like? What would the very biggest possible impact look like? Would your crochet pattern be published in a book? Would you be making a steady income when you sold the crochet pattern on Etsy? Would it mean that the pattern was a free download that anyone could access? Or would it mean that the pattern was so well written that thousands or millions of beginners around the world enjoyed making the hat? Would it be featured on your own maker channel and the pattern and accompanying instructional video would go viral? In your imagination, would the fullest expression of sharing this piece of creativity mean high visibility? Would it mean earning a lot of money from your creative work? Would it mean being able to donate a lot of money to charity? Would it mean that people loved your work? Would it mean that people would love you? Now open your eyes. And on the first line of your page, we're going to give you the sentence stem. We would like you to write this sentence stem. The biggest impact this creativity could have. The biggest impact this creativity could have, ... Just play around, give yourself permission to dream big, and let your pen go wherever it wants to go. We're going to give you 2 minutes to write, starting now.
Well done, everyone. Well done. So, you just explored one possible way to shine your light. Again, for many of us, we want our creative work to have that big impact, high visibility, big earning potential, to be of major service, to make a big positive impression. And these are all great things to aspire to. Absolutely no shame in any of that. But it isn't the only path. It isn't the only way to shine your light and share your creativity. Things can start to get really fun when you consider that you can infuse all aspects of the creative process with your creativity. What do I mean by that? Let's take a look at that spark cycle of creativity again. So, sometimes people can get lulled into thinking that creativity predominantly exists in the generating sparks and fanning the flames phases. And yes, the aha moment of connecting with a spark of inspiration that lights you up can feel like swallowing light. And yes, the fanning the flames, the making of the thing can be wildly creative. Today, we want to remind you that the sharing of the light of your creative work can also be wildly creative. It doesn't have to look the way it's looked before. It doesn't have to be done the same way it's always been done or the ways that others have done it. In fact, you can make the biggest impact with your work by shining the light of your work in surprising, inventive, and creative ways. And sometimes you can make the biggest impact by going small. So, Laura recently came across the Small is Beautiful exhibit at the Museum of Miniature Things in New York City. This exhibit features a surprisingly wide variety of work from 32 artists from around the world. And while the work runs the gamut from funny to whimsical to political to thought provoking to moving, the commonality is that all of the work is miniature. According to the exhibit's website, one of the featured artists, Slinkachu, stages tiny characters in urban settings. He photographs them and then abandons them, posed, painted, and glued in places by the artist. His miniature characters live their lives among urban street architecture and litter, giving spectators a new perspective on their environment by dint of scale. His miniature street art installations aim to humorously reflect the loneliness of life in the big city, the isolation of individuals in their urban environments. By shining his light in miniature, he makes a really, really big impact.
In contrast, you can shine your creative light by blasting it from the mountaintops, literally. From an article on steamit.com, the Swiss have a legend about how one day 3 strangers offered a young shepherd a choice of their gifts. The first stranger promised strength, courage, and health for the shepherd's sheep. The second stranger promised cunning, wealth, and a good, wise wife. But the third stranger promised to teach the shepherd to yodel and to play the alpine horn. That's right, friends. The young shepherd chose door number 3. Party on, young shepherd. This is the origin story for music that was created for shepherds to communicate with each other from one lonely mountaintop to another. There are contemporary musicians carrying on the tradition of the Alp horn. People like Eliana Berkey, a Swiss musician who brought funk to the Alp horn. A hell of a way to shine your creative light. There are so many creative ways to shine your creative light and share your work by telling stories or singing songs in quiet ways that make your audience lean in, or by writing a poem, putting it in a bottle and casting it out to sea, or by hiding a surprise in a wall for the next people who remodel the house to find, or Carl Sagan recording an album of sounds and music and blasting it into space for other life forms to hear. We can literally share our light across space, time, and distance.
There's an artist we love, the Thrift Creeper, who you can find on social at the Black Moth Society. He goes into thrift stores in his area. He purchases a figurine, takes it home. He removes the price sticker, remakes it into a really creepy monster. Then he puts the price sticker back on it and sneaks it back onto the shelf at the thrift store. And that's the only way you can purchase his work. He does not take commissions and he does not sell it. Laura Camion tried.
I did try, y'all, because I know Susan loves it so much. So I wanted to surprise her. I wanted to
love it.
blow her mind with that gift, but he wouldn't do it.
No.
I got to look in the thrift stores. So with all of these sparks in mind, let's turn to a fresh sheet of paper. We're going to date the top of the page and number your paper from 1 to 10 down the left-hand side. In just a moment, we're going to give you a prompt, which you will write at the top of the page. Then we'll give you 2 minutes to write down as many responses to that prompt as you can. You're going to go nuts. You're going to get it all down, even the things that feel impossible or weird or mysterious. Get it all down. The name of this list is Creative Ways I Could Shine My Light. Creative Ways I Could Shine My Light. This is a list of all the creative ways you could share the creativity of this thing that you've been making. Really ask yourself, does the sharing of this thing have to look like it's always looked? Could the sharing of this thing be as creative as the thing itself? Think big, think small, think super subtle, think comic, think cosmic, think serious. Could it be delivered in a singing telegram? Could it be a message knitted into a scarf a la Madame Defarge in A Tale of Two Cities? Could it be a surprise plate of cookies you leave in the mailbox for your mail carrier? What form could your creativity take, and how might you shine this light? We're going to give you 2 minutes to make this list of creative ways you could shine your light. 2 minutes, starting now.
Great work, everyone. Great
Mhm.
work. Now let your eyes scan up and down that list you just made and circle one entry that lights you up.
Mm.
Find your light and circle it. Got it? This leads us to your third and final challenge for the SparkFile Find Your Light Creativity Challenge. In the next 24 hours, we challenge you to share your creativity or your creativity in progress in a way that delights you. Now, it may also give you other feelings in your body. It may make you sweat, it may make your heart race or your hand shake, but that's okay. We want you to aim for surprising and delighting yourself. And we are all strong creative conduits who can tolerate those other feelings as well. Make sure that you document your light shining and post that on Instagram and or Facebook, tagging at the SparkFile and hashtag the SparkFile Challenge.
And I just want to expand on something. If that thought of shining your light in a way that delights you gives you a visceral feeling in your body, that's a really good sign that creative risk is present.
Yeah.
And it's also your body sending you some fuel to accomplish something remarkable. So we want you to lean into that.
Always, always, always. And listen, if your great Aunt Janet isn't ready to see your creative light shining on Facebook, You can get creative or get a little cryptic. As long as you tag us, we're going to know what you mean. So now, one last time, we're going to quickly share the rules for the Sparkfile Find Your Light Creativity Challenge, where one creative challenger is going to win a spot at the Sparkfile 2024 New Year Creativity Kickoff, a 2-day workshop, January 6th and 7th, that's going to refocus your creative vision and put a game plan and support in place to create the most inspiring, self-expressed 2024 imaginable. No matter what you've been dreaming of creating or completing, the 2024 New Year Creativity Kickoff is going to help you get clear and get moving towards that creative goal. Plus, our winner will also receive a really fabulous Sparkfile goodie bag. The workshop and the goodie bag combined are valued at over $500, but more important than any dollar value, it's going to up your creative game. So in order to compete for the prize, you must complete the 3 mini challenges that were presented over the last 3 days. And by Friday, December 1st, 2023 at 8 p.m. Eastern, you must post your challenges on Instagram and or Facebook tagged with @thesparkfile and hashtag the Sparkfile Challenge. And once you've completed and posted all 3 challenges, email links to those 3 posts to thesparkfile@gmail.com with challenge completed in the subject line and the 3 completed challenges in the body of the email. And once you've successfully completed those challenges and emailed us by the deadline, your name is going to be entered into a drawing, and one of you beautiful little bioluminescences will win free admission to the Sparkfile 2024 New Year Creativity Kickoff, taking place on the 6th and the 7th of January, where you're just going to be refocusing and amping up your creativity for 2024, surrounded by a community of creatives who lead with kindness and get shit done. The prize is not transferable. It's not convertible to cash. If you didn't catch all that, we're going to send it to you in the email if you are registered for this challenge. And if you want to join us for the kickoff, you can click on the link in the chat and use the exclusive offer for $100 off. Find Your Light. You'll want to grab that discount code before Sunday, December 3rd at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. And if you happen to sign up for the Creativity Kickoff and then you win the Find Your Light Challenge, your registration fee is going to be refunded. I'm back to you. Back to you, Laura Camion.
Hey, here's some fresh info.
Oh.
If you already know that you might be interested in working with us as coaches, if you think maybe we might be the coaches for you in 2024, or you potentially just want to join us for one of our courses, we invite you to book a no obligation call with us. You can use the link in the chat. Susie, can you drop that in?
I tried.
You did it. Okay, I see it. I see it there.
You
do? I do.
Oh, I could have been chatting this whole time.
The whole time.
Dang
it. Listen, you can use that link to book a call with us. We would love to hear more about your creative goals and discuss how we might be able to support you.
Greatest joy of our life.
We're going to put that link in the email tonight too. So
awesome.
Yeah, greatest joy of our life. You said a big thing and I said something logistical. It is the greatest joy of our life.
Both are important.
Both are important, friends. This has been the 3rd and final day of the Sparkfile Find Your Light Creativity Challenge. Thank you to all of you for showing up to prioritize yourself and your creativity.
Truly, your time is so precious, and we're so thankful that you chose to spend it with us. We also want to thank Corey Pryor, who has been helping us behind the scenes make all of this work so beautifully and smoothly. Thank you so much, Corey.
Thank you, Corey. Thank you so much. As always, friends, we are writing you a forever permission slip to make that thing that has been knocking at your door.
We are going to sign off today with a celebration that we use here at the Sparkfile for all the creative work you've already made and shared. And we do that by saying, we love it. Keep
going. Bye.
be something that inspires me. I dump it in my spark file. Could be something that I want to make or how I want to be. I pump it in my spark file. I jump into my spark file. Let's open up the spark file.
That's the one.